From your official station of the Vols, it's the Big Orange Tip-Off. Sponsored by Salsaritas.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to this special one-hour edition of the Big Orange Tip-Off Show, which is weekly right here on WVLT. Rick Russo and Zach Rickens high above the summit floor here at Thompson Bowling Arena as we get you ready for a big SEC showdown today as your second-ranked Tennessee Volunteers get set to host the 25th rated Auburn Tigers. And, Zach, this is a big game for a lot of reasons, but all of a sudden, both of these teams are 7-2 in league play following Tennessee's loss to Florida the other night, and they're both chasing Alabama, which is 9-0 right now in SEC play.
Yeah, I don't think losing the double bye in the SEC tournament is kind of what this team should be concerned about right now. I think they're going to finish in that top four in the SEC, but like you mentioned, this is a big for that seeding, within that 1-4. You want to get that double bye in the SEC tournament, but Tennessee, back in TBA, where it's only lost one game here in the last couple of years. It's just fantastic atmosphere. Once the fans get in and the students get in, I'm sure they're lined up here. We're going to hear from them in a second. But Tennessee also does a fantastic job of bouncing back. They've not lost back-to-back SEC games since January 2021, Rick.
Yeah, it's been a while, no question about that. So we'll see if Tennessee can put out the same performance they had 1 week ago here against the Longhorns and not relive what they did Wednesday night down in Gainesville. But you mentioned the fans, and hanging outside with them is the third member of our sports team, Paige Dower, who's with us here today at Thompson Bowling Arena. Paige?
All right, so we're still a few hours away from tip-off between the top 25 showdown with Tennessee and the Auburn Tigers. And next to me, we still have a very healthy line of fans trying to get in for that 2 p.m. tip-off. We'll come over here to a couple of the freshmen that are kind of up here early in the line. So you guys got here relatively early then to get this spot.
Right, yes.
How exciting is this season for you all? You all are freshmen. Tennessee basketball is doing incredibly well right now. How fun is it?
Very fun. I love basketball, and this is the first game I've actually sat in the line for, and I'm super excited. I'm trying to get good seats, everything.
We get jerseys today, so we're excited about that.
Free stuff.
Yeah, a good little incentive to get you guys out here because you're in layers. Your gloves are actually socks, so you had to be a little creative. Just what brings out this dedication for y'all to wait out here in the cold?
I am Ziegler's biggest fan. I love you, man. And I don't know, I just been out here since 9 o'clock trying to get good seats and a cool jersey, and just a good experience.
We're ranked really high this year, so it's an exciting season.
Especially for your freshman year as well. How many games have you guys been to? How exciting are you for this one?
We haven't actually been to too many. We've just been busy. But
We've been to 7?
7, yeah. We were at the Kentucky game. We did wait outside for a little bit for that one.
Yeah, and it was snowing that day.
And we came all the way from our hometown because we are freshmen, so we live in dorms, but we came back for that game before school started. So,
what do you love so much about Sakai Ziegler?
I don't know, he's just like the greatest man ever. I don't know. It's just like, he's awesome. I don't know.
What do you have to see from him today?
Him be a baller. I'll have to make lots of threes or whatever.
Or whatever. I love it, guys. Thank you so much. Enjoy the cold, maybe. Try to stick it out a little bit. But, yeah, so the line is already starting to form. Hopefully here soon it'll start wrapping around the fence, and we'll have a good student section for today's tip-off. I'm going to send it back to you guys in the arena today.
All right. Thank you, Paige Dower. Oh, to be young again, right? These fans out there.
Is it worth it?
Brave in
they
the
better
cold.
make it worth it here at 2 o'clock.
Well, yeah, if the Vols win, it's absolutely worth it. And so it's Tennessee and Auburn today, 2 o'clock on ESPN. But we're glad to be here right now, getting you ready for the showdown. The Vols, Zach, coming off the loss to Florida the other night. The Tigers did beat Georgia, and they played, but they have lost 2 out of their last 3. Hasn't been what you would expect. They lost some players from last year, but this Auburn team is still Auburn, and they all playing well.
Yeah, much like these Tennessee teams when Bruce Pearl was around, rebounding and defense, that's really how this Auburn program runs. Rebounding's been a little bit of a struggle there for them, especially on the offensive boards, but defense has just been fantastic for these Tigers this year.
All right, so the Vols beat them 67-62 here last year. We'll hear from Bruce Pearl a little later. But right now, Coach Barnes, he's more concerned with his guys correcting the mistakes from Wednesday night and getting back to playing the brand of basketball that he knows his fellas can play.
I don't think anybody's happy with the way we played at Florida, but This league is good. It's hard to win. It's hard to win in any league. And the fact is we didn't play our best basketball. The next one's a big one, and you guys know that, but we're going to have to play better. You know, Bruce has done what he always does, a terrific job with this team, and he's going to get the most out of them every year, and we're going to have to be on edge and know that we've got to play better.
Tennessee coming off a poor shooting night again at Florida. They'll look to correct that, of course, on the offensive end while continuing to play that brand of defense that we have come to know this season. All right, so before we go any further, quick look back at what went wrong in that Florida game, Zach, on Wednesday night. Tennessee 3 of 19 from three-point. That's either going to be there or not on a game-to-game basis. But what was surprising was the two-point shots for Tennessee. Against Texas here last Saturday, the Vols connected on 69% of those shots, hitting 24. They only got 30% of those shots against Florida.
Yeah, you can basically sum it up as make your shots when they're open.
Yeah.
I mean Tennessee got a lot of open looks and then got a little sloppy on defense there the last 5 or so minutes because they were just basically trying to rebound and chuck up some threes there to kind of catch up to Florida, and then that just really didn't work on the defensive side of the ball. They were able to kind of get that ball in the paint and get Castleton going there late.
You know what was also interesting? Tennessee has done a great job this season in the area of assists, but they only have 7 assists last week, or last Wednesday night rather, and that speaks to how disconnected that offense. A few of them earlier. This place is going to be rocking. They've got these little light sticks that are on all the seats. 20,000 light sticks here. It's going to be quite the show when Tennessee takes on Auburn today. A lot of energy in the stands, and check this out. Right now, in addition to today's game, coming up later on this season, the big one against Alabama, the SEC leader right now. That is also sold out. Some seats, folks, are still open for games like Missouri, South Carolina, and Arkansas. So get them while you can as Tennessee's season here at Thompson Bowling Arena continues what's been a very, very good season for the Big Orange. Well, stay with us, folks. It's time for our first break of the morning. We've got a lot more coming up. We will be joined a little bit later on by the head coach of your baseball Vols, Tony Vitello. But coming up next, we'll dig deeper into Bruce Pearl's Auburn Tigers. You are watching the Big Orange Tip-Off Show right here on WVLT.
As the official station of the Vols, WVLT has UT coverage you won't find anywhere else.
That's one of the best reasons for Vol fans to end their days with WVLT News at 10 on the CW Knoxville and 11 on WVLT.
We've always got updates on your Tennessee Vols. We've got news you may have missed overnight, first alert weather for you, and everything you need to get ready for the next day.
Make WVLT News at 10 and 11 a part of your evening.
WVLT is your official station of the Vols.
When you hear about Factory Direct, what does that really mean? Hi, I'm Whitney Kent, and we are here in Brothers Bedding in the factory with Rob talking about Factory Direct, its benefits. Tell me a little bit about it.
Yeah, so here at Brothers Bedding, we manufacture all of the mattresses and we sell them directly to our customers. So what does Factory Direct mean?
Yeah.
We're able to make the mattresses two-sided. We can use the best materials in them for the best price, but we're selling it directly to our customers. So no markup, no 2-3 times markup.
And the quality and the guarantees are also huge. Tell me about those.
Yeah, so the quality, since we are the manufacturer, we can make just about anything. We do custom sizes. We do two-sided mattresses, which have faded out in the industry. And so we're able to just pass that savings on to our customer with being factory direct and offer the best services.
And real quick, can you tell me, we're in the factory, so we want to see how it's done. Real quick, it's from start to finish, right?
It is, yeah. We have one person that starts the mattress, completely finishes it. It's not mass produced on an assembly line. And we're able to really take care of that quality control.
Yes, and take care of the customer, which it's all about. Thank you for joining us. And if you want more information, visit them online or give them a call.
Hey everyone, welcome back into the Big Orange Tip-Off Show. We're breaking down the matchup between Tennessee and Auburn a little bit more, and we couldn't do that without talking to someone that covers the Auburn Tigers quite well. We have Rosie Langello here with us, the sports director out of Montgomery for WSFA. Rosie, thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me on, for asking me to come on. I love this.
Of course, of course. So, of course, Auburn's coming into town to Knoxville to play another matchup. It's always contentious every time they meet. Of course, Bruce Pearl, your all's head coach for the Auburn Tigers. So, Tennessee, they snapped a 6-game losing streak last year at home. Tennessee, they're 47-9 at home against the Tigers. From what you've noticed over maybe this past couple of seasons, what do you think it is about the TBA environment that give the Tigers such a hard time?
I really think it's the crowd, and it's the same if the Vols were coming to Neville Arena. I think those arenas are similar when it comes to student sections, when it comes to fans. Like, you cannot hear what you guys are saying to one another. And if you just look at TBA and how it's built, I mean, people are on top of you. So that's intimidating to start. But just for Tennessee this season, they have a great defense. Bruce Pearl saying in his media avail on Thursday, it's one of the best defenses in the country. That's intimidating as well, and that's hold true for many seasons now, right?
As far as Auburn's schedule, though, this season, it seems that they've been a little inconsistent. They play close to the teams that they shouldn't. They still get those key wins, which is why they're still in the top 25 right now. But what do you think it is about this team where they kind of have been hot and cold as of late?
One of the main reasons is you don't have Walker Kessler and you don't have Jabari Smith anymore. Two guys that really carry the team, two guys that went really high in the NBA draft last season. So this team really had to shape into a new team, right? Their schedule is super tough, and Bruce Pearl knows that. He's been saying, like, this back nine is really tough. So it was important for them to win those key games in the first half. I don't think they won enough key games, to be honest with you, because just looking at the schedule ahead, they have Tennessee, Texas A&M, and then they have Alabama, which has been great in the SEC. They've been great overall this season. So they really need to hone in and focus in this back nine if they want to make a really good run in the tournament.
Who does Tennessee need to be aware of when you look at that one man-on-man matchup?
Yeah, a guy I mentioned before, Wendell Green Jr., you're going to want to guard him. You're going to want to guard Jalen Williams and Janai Broom. Janai Broom, that center, getting those points in the paint, getting those rebounds. Jalen Williams has been having a good season offensively, really getting into that double digits. All three of those guys have been in double digits for multiple games this past season. And another guy who is a sleeper pick, but not really, because just against Georgia, he had a season-high 22 points. Alan Flanagan, the Vols are really going to want to lock him down. The guy can make really tough shots from beyond the arc. It's a lot of fun to watch, but when Alan Flanagan is on his game, I think the Vols and any other teams really do need to watch out. But if you have those four guys scoring in double digits, then it's really hard for the Tigers to lose unless they turn it over, which they had trouble at the beginning of the season, but they're doing a lot better in the second half of the season, Paige.
Rosie, I appreciate your insight and helping us break down this game before it tip-off later today. Thanks again for your time. Rick and Zach, I'm going to go ahead and send it back to you all.
Thank you, Paige. Good stuff right there. Glad to get with our colleagues from Gray Communications, Gray Television over there in Alabama, covering the Tigers on a daily basis. So what about these Auburn Tigers? Let's look a little bit deeper into Auburn and Coach Pearl's team. Auburn 17-5, 7-2 in SEC play, as we mentioned. They dropped 2 of their last 3 games. They had previously won 5 straight, so they've been a little bit up and down, but they did defeat Georgia at home Wednesday night, Zach, 94-73, avenging an earlier loss this season to those Bulldogs.
Yeah, and sophomore forward and Moorhead State transfer, like we mentioned, like Rosie mentioned, Janai Broom has made an immediate impact for Auburn this season, ranking second in the team in scoring, just shy of 14 points a game, leading the team in rebounding and blocks, kind of like a Walker Kessler was last year. Despite losing Jabari Smith to the 2022 draft, Auburn returned a trio of guards, Wendell Green Jr., Vols fans certainly familiar with him, Alan Flanagan, and K.D. Johnson this season from last year's team that finished 28-6, won the SEC regular season title, was ranked number 1 in the country for seemingly the entire regular season.
Yeah, Auburn's also 4-3 in true SEC road games this season, but the top Tiger knows he'll have to contend with one of the league's best defenses this afternoon.
In watching Tennessee's games, there's just lots of contact, and more so than in most games. So they typically let you play, they let them play, and they're very, very physical, which can, if they're going to let you play, really can help your defense. And they run a lot of the very same principles that we run as far as how they guard. They're obviously better at it than we are.
All right, the Auburn Tigers doing something right, Zach, as I mentioned this season. They're ranked 25th, and do you know that they've been in the AP poll now for 32 straight weeks? So Pearl continually consistent with this Auburn team.
Yeah, program record, so you'd love to see Tennessee knock them out of that poll here this week, right?
All right, absolutely. So, no doubt about that. Let's do it. So he's not the only Pearl in here in Thompson Bowling Arena today. It's loud. It gets loud inside Thompson Bowling Arena, but maybe nobody, and Tony Vitello, he's going to be up with us next, can attest to this, nobody is louder than Sterling Sturl the Pearl Henton. Played football here, was a quarterback at Tennessee. Now he's a DJ, and he gets this crowd rocking on a game-by-game basis. Here's more with our friend Pearl.
If you've ever been inside TBA or Neyland, you've definitely seen or met the man. His name is Sterling Henton, but most know him today as DJ Sturl the Pearl. Someone who's always willing to go out of his way to embrace Ball Nation.
It's all love. What's up, baby? Yes, sir. We here, big dog. We're making it happen.
Sturl DJs both football and basketball games. If you don't see him, you'll definitely hear him wherever you're at.
I feed off the crowd. As much energy they think I have, they're giving me more than I can even give back to them.
The VFL from New Jersey has made Rocky Top his permanent home. The energy he brings for each home game isn't going away anytime soon either.
When I have the mic and there to talk to my fans, the greatest fans in the land, I got a lot more on the tape because they give me so much, and I'm thankful, brother. I'm so thankful.
Sturl the Pearl may not be able to sway the score of games with his play anymore, but he and the fans still work to do it from the stands.
When they feed the floor, our players don't go hungry. And the more they eat, the more energy they have. The more energy they have, the more they take it to our opponents, and the better chance we got to win.
Yeah, I cannot get enough of Sturl the Pearl. He is fantastic. He was out there before baseball games as well last season, getting the fans ready. And there he is with Zeb from the JC Cloggers. You might see him, you might notice him from TikTok, social media sensation. He was here last week, so a couple popular guys right there hanging out. Speaking of popular guys, with us right now here, high atop the summit floor is the head coach of your Tennessee baseball Vols, Tony Vitello. You know what? You're a head baseball coach, but you're also a fan at heart. Love seeing you here last week for the Texas game. What was that like?
Yeah, it was incredible. A couple days prior, the Lady Vols game was tremendous, too, against UConn. The environment was unreal in here. Just came up short against UConn, but the men's team came through strong. You could tell they had a little extra edge to them, as did the crowd against Texas.
And we also have a picture there with you and Dick Vitello, Coach V and Dickie V. Had you ever met him before?
No, I hadn't, and it kind of came out of the blue, and he knew about our baseball team, and normally you'd think I'd kind of attack Dickie V, somebody who I'd watched ever since I was growing up, but he kind of approached me about the super regional. In the regional games, he watched our team and obviously got to snap a pic.
Great, and great that Tennessee could come out on top.
Last year you made some waves on social media wearing the Zakai Ziegler shirt jersey. I guess, what is it about his game you like, and what's so fun about watching this Tennessee basketball team?
Yeah, I mean, last year it was clear watching him, he's just not going to back down. And not the tallest fella on the court, but at times the feistiest. And I think that's the attitude we wanted to instill in our program when we first got here, because in our version of not being the tallest, we were kind of low man on the totem pole in the conference. And you can't be scared and you can't back down from anybody, and certainly he epitomizes that to this day.
Tony, did you ever play basketball coming up?
I did, and I was fortunate enough to play at a great high school and be on the team. We actually beat Justin Tatum, Jason's dad, and several others to make it to a state championship. A lot of D1 guys, a couple NBA guys, and we lost to a group of small shooters who couldn't miss a three. So I lived out Hoosiers on the wrong end of the whole deal.
But I know you're proud of what Rick's doing right here with these guys too, right?
Yeah, and if you've been around Rick or you've met Rick in person, it's hard not to be proud of just how he goes about his business every day. Yeah. I mean, you want to define a champion, it's that guy. He's a champion every day of his life. I don't know how he does it, because I have my moments and my days where I can't be like that. But the kids follow his leadership. He's got this thing figured out. I hope I coach long enough to where I have that Rick Barnes zen going on. He's awesome.
Absolutely. Opening up the season here very shortly out in Arizona, what do you like about maybe moving out of the cold weather and just kind of getting your guys out there on more of a neutral setting?
Well, I think the cool thing is we go down to where some spring training teams are, and we'll have former players of ours down there. We also get a little closer to West Coast Vols. Plenty of former players, alums have reached out. I think we'll have plenty of orange, as we tend to, do when we travel now down there. And then the competition's tremendous. Arizona is an SEC caliber team. Grand Canyon at Grand Canyon. Look up some videos on YouTube of their fans at basketball games.
Yeah, I was about to say their basketball environment is pretty special.
Yeah, they got a first rounder and another top pick on their baseball team. So the first two games are going to be incredibly challenging. And then we'll play against UCSD, who has a coach that I coached at Missouri. So maybe I am getting close to Coach Martin's age.
There you go. Well, Coach, thanks for being here with us today.
Yeah,
he's decked out here again. Not going to be here. He'll be here in spirit, but you got to take advantage of the weather, right, and get some practice in today.
Yeah, in between scrimmage innings, I'll be checking the phone, and if the players don't like it, too bad. I want to know how it's going over here, but it's going to be really rowdy in this environment, and I think that gives us an edge today.
Go get them. All right, Coach Tony Vitello. Coming up, we're going to keep the Diamond Tennessee Vols theme with the Lady Vols. We'll hear from Karen Weekly of the softball team next on your Big Orange Tip-Off Show. Stay with us.
Stuck, stalled, stranded? It's the wrong time of year to be unprepared for the weather in East Tennessee. All winter long, the WVLT First Alert Weather Team is keeping you ahead of the storms. We're tracking what's coming and alerting you days in advance to the ice, snow, and cold that's on the way. Make sure you have the WVLT First Alert Weather app handy and get notified first to keep you and your family prepared this winter. Don't get stranded and trust the team that's alerting East Tennessee first.
Ashley Furniture, the largest furniture manufacturer in the world, is having a massive winter sale. Factory direct prices all winter long. Beautiful dining room sets starting at $29 a month. New living room sofas starting at $22 a month. Stunning bedrooms starting at $55 a month. All at our winter sale prices. Hurry in and save this winter at the Ashley Home Store in the heart of Turkey Creek.
She's taking her first steps, and then she's walking across the stage. It's never too early to start saving for your child's future. The Tennessee Stars College Savings 529 program makes it easy. Build your savings by putting the power of compounding interest to work for you. Money in a Tennessee Stars account can be used to pay for tuition, housing, books, and more. 15 minutes and $25 is all it takes to start. Get started at tnstars.com.
You're watching the Big Orange Tip-Off on your official station of the Vols. Sponsored by Salsaritas.
Yeah, great to catch up with the head coach of the number 2 ranked Tennessee baseball team, and they're going to begin their season about 2 weeks from now, like we mentioned, over in Arizona, sunny Arizona. The Lady Vols, by the way, they're coming in right around 12-13, and depending which media poll you look at, but they're starting the season even sooner, Rick.
They are. In fact, that's coming up next Friday. The Lady Vols are top 15 right now, as you mentioned, and number 2 preseason pick in the Southeastern Conference, and they've got some terrific players coming back for them this year. Kiki Malloy, who Coach says is the best player in college softball. They've also got Ashley Rogers, the pitcher, coming back, and then Zeta Pooney at third base.
Yeah, I was going to say, if Kiki Malloy's the best player in college softball, who's Ashley Rogers? Where's she fall? I mean, she had that perfect game last year. Just a joy to watch all season long.
She's outstanding, and so is Coach Karen Weekly, who I had a chance to sit down with here earlier this week. Well, Karen, you've got a terrific lineup coming up for this season, but I want to talk a little bit about you. Coach had a chance to speak to the Rotary Club recently, and I was there, and if you ever get the chance, she was terrific. But one of the things you were talking about is as a kid coming up, you loved to play sports. You were even a tomboy. Talk about that aspect and coming up and playing sports as a youngster.
I was your classic tomboy. In fact, I think I slept with my football. Whatever season it was, that was the sport I was into. When I got into high school, played tennis in the fall, basketball in the winter, softball in the spring. Actually, my passion, real passion when I was a kid was basketball, because you could go shoot baskets by yourself 24/7, and I did that in our driveway. And I played basketball in college and then played softball as well. But yeah, all I wanted to do was anything with sports. I didn't want anything to do with dolls or dresses or anything like that.
So as a basketball aficionado, then I'm going to ask you to put your analyst hat on. Later today, we've got the Vols playing Auburn. How about Rick Barnes and the job the Volunteers are doing?
Oh, they're tremendous. I just love watching both of our basketball teams. Rick's done a great job, and you know, he's just such a great human being. And you see that reflected in the young men he brings into the program. Just real quality class individuals, play hard. They're always improving, and they're just a lot of fun to watch.
Karen is also very, very intelligent. You ended up getting a law degree. So you go in that direction, but then you end up coaching softball. What about that dynamic? How did all that work out?
Well, from the time I was 10 years old, I knew I wanted to be a lawyer. My parents said it was because I like to argue about everything. But I think the facts were on my side. That's what I always tell Ralph when he says, I can't win an argument. I say, well, the facts are always on my side. But, you know, I married Ralph, and I was still practicing law when we got married. But, you know, being married to a coach, I was around it more. And honestly, I just realized I'm missing being on a ball field, being on a basketball court. And I had the opportunity when I started teaching business law down at UTC, I became a professor. And I had the opportunity then to spend more time helping him coach the team there. And one thing led to another, and Joan Cronin called us and said, you know, we'd like to talk to both of you about being co-head coaches.
And we're glad she did. Now, do those law skills come out on the diamond when you're arguing with the umpires out there?
I think they come out more just in terms of preparing.
This is why we're right and you're wrong.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. I think some of the umpires are a little bit intimidated by that background, but I think the education was really good for me just to learn how to analyze things and come up with a game plan. And, you know, I was a civil litigator, and getting ready for a trial is really just like, you know, preparing a team for a season. You know, there's little things along the way, little wins, little losses, but at the end, you know, it's about getting that big win.
And lastly, Coach, you open up down in Florida, down in Clearwater. Talk about that tournament to get things started this year.
Yeah, I love going down to Florida where we know we're going to get sunshine, a little bit of warmth. It's been kind of a tough January, battling the rain and the elements. So we head down to Clearwater for the NFCA Leadoff Classic, and then the next weekend we go to Puerto Vallarta.
Wow.
Yeah, they put on a great tournament there. Just a really neat experience for our players and good competition. And then we'll be back in Florida our third weekend of competition down in Tampa.
Tampa, Florida, Puerto Vallarta. Man, Coach, take us with you. All right, folks, much more basketball talk coming up after the break right here on the Big Orange Tip-Off Show. Glad you're here with us this Saturday morning.
We're going to start tonight with breaking news just into the WVLT newsroom.
Some breaking news from overnight as crews work to put out a fire in Granger County. A warning tonight for drivers heading west on I-40. Traffic is backed up for miles.
We're following a developing story we brought you first right here on WVLT.
We are issuing a WVLT First Alert weather days. The storm system tracks into East Tennessee.
There was a time when the world whispered, when quiet blanketed the meadows, stillness eased our minds, and all the sharp edges softened in the gently falling snow. There was a time when we hiked in wordless wonder, and the only sound we heard was the steady beating of our grateful hearts. It was a peaceful time. It was winter. This winter at Biltmore. Experience Leonardo da Vinci at Biltmore.
Come visit the Knoxville Wholesale Furniture Renovation and Remodeling Sale. We're expanding the Knoxville Wholesale Furniture Clearance Center next to the Westtown Mall. We're spending $5 million on the makeover to bring you 90,000 square feet of specials and truckload buys from all over the country. Are you looking for a good deal? Now is the time to come during the Renovation and Remodeling Sale at the Knoxville Wholesale Furniture Clearance Center next to the Westtown Mall. Hurry in for the best selection.
Bud's Gun Shop and Range offers one of the largest selections of firearms, ammunition, and firearm accessories in Tennessee. Find handguns, shotguns, and rifles from all major manufacturers. Practice in our temperature-controlled shooting range, too. Bud's Gun Shop and Range.
A leg and thigh dinner from Bojangles for just $5.99.
A leg and thigh dinner from Bojangles for just $5.99?
That's what I said.
A deal so good it's worth repeating. Eat and repeat while it lasts. It's Bo time.
WVLT is your official station of the Vols.
You're watching the Big Orange Tip-Off on your official station of the Vols. Sponsored by Salsaritas.
And welcome back to the Big Orange Tip-Off. Rick Russo and Zach Rickens high above the summit floor here at Thompson Bowling Arena as we get you ready for Tennessee and Auburn today at 2 o'clock. If you're not coming down, it's going to be a sold-out crowd. The game is on ESPN. All right, getting back to the team, one of the most popular players, no doubt, Zakai Ziegler. He's a terrific basketball player, SEC Player of the Week, but his story, Zach, reaches far beyond that court.
Yeah, you mentioned Tony Vitello wearing his jersey in that last segment. His game kind of speaks for itself, but who he is off the court is really a product of where he grew up. And it was this game last year when he learned as a freshman, 11 hours from home, his home that he grew up in Queens, New York, burned to the ground. Just an incredible story in itself that he was able to kind of push through that and continue playing his freshman year. But what happened after that with Tennessee fans raising more than $360,000 for his family, really an incredible story, where Alan Williams takes a deeper look at kind of who he is and what drives Zakai Ziegler.
Whether it's eating dinner or doing the dishes, Zakai and Mom are closer than ever before. He's home a lot, home being a brand new house courtesy of the giving hearts of East Tennesseans.
I've never seen anything like UT, like the Vols, and I'm not just saying it because I'm here, but they are unmatched by far.
Last March, life changed. Their Queens, New York apartment burned.
Just about everything you possessed was there.
Every single, everything. I ran out with, I get emotional when I think about this. But I ran out with my baby and a jacket.
It was a place full of fond memories, especially for Zakai, winning trophies almost as tall as he. The Vols were playing Auburn when Zakai learned about it.
My heart just started racing. I just started overthinking, like, the bare worst. And then when I called my mom and she had flipped the camera, I was like, and I don't even know the next step, like what to do next.
But the overwhelming part, less than a day later, a fund was set up to raise $50,000.
I think the final number was like $362,000.
Oh my gosh. What did you think?
I'm just so grateful. I told Zakai, don't do it. I said, let's just pray, God gonna tell me what to do. He's gonna guide my footsteps, and that's it.
How heartfelt and what appreciation you must have.
Yeah, man, it meant everything to me, really, like, because when I first, like, committed, Coach Barnes had told me the fans was gonna love me, but I didn't really fully understand it. And then after that moment, I was like, man, they have my back off the court too, and that means a whole lot more than just cheering for me on the court when I hit a three-pointer.
They are still in awe of the outpouring of love from East Tennesseans. It's now a new season, a new beginning, if you will. Mom will be at all the games.
Ziegler hangs and takes it off the window.
Not just a house, but a home.
Thank you so much for allowing me into your home.
Sure.
Oh my goodness.
Anytime.
Zakai, it's a pleasure.
Pleasure, appreciate your luck. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Nice
Have
to
a good
meet
one.
you.
Going my way, I'm Alan Williams.
All right, buddy. How was that?
Off to practice.
So happy for that family. Great story, and thank you, Alan Williams. Stay with us, folks. More to come. On the flip side, we're going to hear from Rob Lewis from our media partner, VolQuest.com, and we're going to meet the coaching staff that helps Rick Barnes bring this team to where they are. Stay with us. We're coming right back.
Great teams need focus to consistently win.
That's like the WVLT First Alert Weather Team coach.
Every day, we're focused on the weather events that matter to you.
Days ahead of a winter storm, we're going to call it WVLT First Alert Weather Day.
And then track changes and progress right up to the minute it may be unsafe to be out on the roads.
On air and on the First Alert Weather app.
Keep your team safe this winter with WVLT First Alert Weather.
WVLT is your official station of the Lady Vols.
Car wreck? Here's a good reason to call Fox and Farmer.
We won't ask you to put up a dime. That's right, it costs you nothing to bring your case to us. And you win or it's free. Call Fox and Farmer. We do more because we're two for you.
Call 531-9400.
Step into spring at the Dogwood Arts House and Garden Show, February 10th through the 12th at the Knoxville Convention Center. Stroll through grand gardens and meet the top vendors in home, garden, appliances, and more, all under one roof. Don't miss live music, DIY demos, and presentations by house and garden experts all weekend. Plus, enter to win $7,500 toward your next home project, courtesy of ORNL Federal Credit Union. Visit dogwoodarts.com for more details.
When foot pain is breaking your heart, a mother's story.
My foot pain got really bad after I had my son. I didn't have any energy left to play with him.
She tried various tricks and treatments.
A lot of those disposable throwaway inserts.
Nothing worked, till she got fitted for Good Feet arch supports.
I could feel like something was happening.
Something good.
It's been a life changer.
For Elisa and her now not-so-baby boy.
For a limited time, get a free pair of shoes with your Good Feet purchase.
They say there's a time and place for everything, but there's never a good time for a car wreck.
At Fox and Farmer, we work to keep you out of the courtroom
and get you more money than the insurance company wants to pay. We're all for you.
Call 531-9400.
You're watching the Big Orange Tip-Off on your official station of the Vols. Sponsored by Salsaritas.
Welcome back into the Big Orange Tip-Off Show here on your official station, The Vols. Zach Rickens joined with Rick Russo here high atop the summit floor where we are doing some sound checks. We're going to be joined by about 21,000 of our closest friends here about 2 o'clock as Tennessee, number 2 in the nation, takes on a top 25 Auburn team.
Yeah, we had a chance to see both the Auburn Tigers and the Tennessee Vols go through their final walkthrough, if you will, before this afternoon's big game. Also down there on the court right now, in anticipation of this big matchup, is our Paige Dower, who's hanging by with a special guest. Hey, Paige.
Hey guys, yeah, they're doing the sound checks. Such great timing for us, but a lot of excitement is on the horizon for these Tennessee Vol fans. And as we get closer to tip-off, we want to break down this game a little bit more, and we can't do that if we don't bring along our partner and Rob Lewis from VolQuest. Today, a big game for a lot of reasons. One, for Tennessee to kind of get back on track after they lost to unranked Florida. They're going up against a really hot and cold Auburn team. What kind of jumps off the page for you when you look at this matchup?
Well, for fans that have followed Auburn for a long time, it's not your typical Bruce Pearl team. They're not a great three-point shooting team at all. They're one of the 10th or 11th in the SEC in terms of both makes and efficiency. So a little more, playing inside the arc this year, which is not Pearl's style. You said they're hot and cold. They're 7-2. Big game for both teams as they're in a tie for second. 2 games behind Alabama. Already in a bad spot for the league championship, but if you want to stay, kind of within striking distance, really big today for both sides.
Yeah, and despite that loss to Florida for Tennessee, let's look at Zakai Ziegler. He started the first 17 games from the bench. The last 5 he's been starting, and Rick Barnes talks all the time about the energy that he brings to the team. I think one key part is the steals that he has. He ranks 3rd in the SEC. How important will that be when you look at this turnover battle today?
Well, I think it's big, Paige, especially for a Tennessee team coming off the Florida game where they just didn't get anything offensively that was easy, and that's where Zakai being so active with his hands and both full court pressure and the half court, couple 2 or 3 steals a day that Tennessee can turn into 2 or 3 easy buckets would go a long way for an offense that just could not get its feet under itself Tuesday or Wednesday night.
Yeah, when their offense fell cold, they needed to start to rely on that defense. Do you find that might be something that they need to rely on again, as they are still one of the top defenses in the country?
It's under 14 points a game. Zakai's, kind of in the same neighborhood for Tennessee. So that's the matchup I'll look at to, it may not determine the outcome, but it's going to give you a good idea of who's getting the better of who.
Thank you, Rob. I appreciate the time. More sound check coming behind us, but I want to look over here. The security guard, you might remember him from the Tennessee football game. He's getting his routine and practice in that we're going to see later today. So something, a little treat for later today, guys. I'm going to send it back up to you.
That's good stuff.
Yeah, it's great stuff, Paige. If you're coming to the game, you're in for a treat seeing that security guard dance yet again. It just went absolutely viral here over the fall when he did that for football. Rob Lewis as well, thank you so much for all that great information.
Speaking of dancing, yeah, some fun inside the Tennessee locker room. The one hitting the moves in the middle there, assistant coach Rod Clark. You talk about that good, fun relationships off the court, but man, on the court, the dynamic is just as strong with your Tennessee staff and this team. As we go to break, let's meet the three guys who help keep this Vol engine running for Coach Barnes.
Hi, I'm Justin Gainey, Associate Head Coach, Men's Basketball, University of Tennessee.
Let's go, Joe. Let's go, baby. Come on, Joe. Toby, got to be cleaner here. Got to be cleaner, but then, right, we're reading that thing.
The constants, I'm always bring energy, and I'm always going to coach you up. I try to, just pay close attention to our guys, their mood, their demeanor, and try to fill in the gaps.
A lot of game left. We got to stay together and let's keep competing, right? Keep competing. White line, white line, white line, white line. I got a piece. Go, 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 go.
I've been through the process that they went through from a recruiting standpoint. I played the game at a high level in college and also played professionally, and I'm able to talk to them about different experiences and be able to share that with them and let them know that, man, you're not alone in where you are today.
Good, 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 Joe. Stay. Good. Hit. That's all right, bro.
Hi, my name is Rod Clark. I'm assistant coach at the University of Tennessee.
Good gap, boy. Keep him here, keep him here, keep him here. Good. Block, 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 block.
I'm a teammate first. I like to come with a lot of passion. I like to have a lot of energy.
Hands, Joe. Hands. No gap. Yes. White line. Yeah. Great ball. Good job.
And I think one of the most important things is I like the guys to know that, like, I'm here for them. You know what I mean? I like our staff to know that I'm here for them. Like, I want to be a servant. I want to be a leader, but I also want to be a servant.
Yeah, pull him. Good move, boy. That's tough. Wow.
I like to kind of hype them up when they do something great.
Hey, you look like Vince Carter. Yeah, DJ. Bouncy.
Before I get on you, I'm going to build you up. And then when I get on you, I'm going to build you up when you do something great. I don't want to give them a false sense of entitlement by any means, but I like to make sure that guys are learning the game in the right way.
Greg Polinsky, assistant basketball coach, University of Tennessee.
Great, let's go. Come on, kid. You guys got to give him something.
Started out in college basketball as a junior college coach when I was 22.
Use the ball to take you up.
Head coach at Georgia Southern University.
Cut hard.
And then was fortunate enough to catch on and be in the NBA for 23 years.
Board it. Yeah!
It seemed like that was enough when I got done. And I always had a good relationship, a lot of respect for Coach Barnes.
Keep working. Get better, DJ. Good.
Can be to the point with guys, can be, on them. But I think for the most part, try to talk with them. So it's really what value can I add to their experience, to their future success. Tennessee's a great place to be.
Stuck, stalled, stranded? It's the wrong time of year to be unprepared for the weather in East Tennessee. All winter long, the WVLT First Alert Weather Team is keeping you ahead of the storms. We're tracking what's coming and alerting you days in advance to the ice, snow, and cold that's on the way. Make sure you have the WVLT First Alert Weather app handy and get notified first to keep you and your family prepared this winter. Don't get stranded and trust the team that's alerting East Tennessee first.
Thank you, Omega XL, for giving me back my hope. My name is Connie Cantillo. I am an executive assistant. Before Omega XL, I had strong knee pains. I wasn't able to go up and down the stairs or even play with my grandchildren on the floor. It was something that I thought I would never be able to overcome. And then I found Omega XL, and it really has brought my life back. Knowing I don't need to wait for someone to help me to do something is incredible. I don't have to think if I can do something. I can just do it. Omega XL works because it worked for me.
Call now or go to omegaxl.com/get. And when you buy one bottle of Omega XL, get another absolutely free. That's 2 bottles for only $39.95. Order right now and we'll also include a bottle of Vitamin XL D3 for whole body health absolutely free on your first order. Order now and get 2 bottles of Omega XL plus Vitamin XL D3 for only $39.95. Act now.
This weekend, there's only one stop you need to make at the auto show because only Toyota can claim the best-selling car, the best-selling midsize truck, and the best-selling SUV. Only Toyota has more all-wheel drive vehicles than anyone else and 14 different electrified vehicles. And the auto show is the place to see the new electrified Tundra Hybrid, the most powerful, most fuel-efficient Tundra ever. Come in and see. Toyota has more all-wheel drive and electrified vehicles than anyone else. Toyota. Let's go places.
You're watching the Big Orange Tip-Off on your official station of the Vols. Sponsored by Salsaritas.
And welcome back, everybody, to our weekly Big Orange Tip-Off Show special edition. We went 1 hour today in anticipation of today's big game between your second-ranked Volunteers and the 25th-ranked Auburn Tigers of head coach Bruce Pearl. You know, this Tennessee basketball team is having success, but you know, it seems like these days, Zach, the success is all across the board when it comes to Tennessee athletics.
Yeah, they're in everything.
Jordan Crooks is in a lane of his own, posting the fastest times in college swimming this year in the 50 and the 100 freestyle.
The thrill of, you know, shooting down there, shooting back, it's fun for me.
But it's here, at his home in the Cayman Islands, where the reigning SEC champion trades chlorine in for the salt water of the Caribbean Sea.
It's peaceful. It's like my happy place. I come from a beautiful island. The water is amazing, and I'm really grateful to have grown up there. Sitting on the boat, relaxing. It's just really, really peaceful. You can kind of get away from the noise and whatnot, and yeah, kind of relax.
It's also where the Tennessee sophomore and newly crowned world champion learned to find peace in the pressure of the big stage, where freediving teaches him a time-saving skill in his best event.
Finishing the 50, you kind of get that urge to breathe. Your chest starts kind of pumping. It's similar to the feeling of being really deep underwater and the pressure kind of pushing in on your chest and then coming back up from a really deep dive. So even though they're not really the same, you can almost kind of get the same feeling. So I think the freediving helped me kind of zone out from that and just kind of ignore the pumping feeling or that kind of discomfort and just push through it.
But he almost never reached this point.
I was kind of messing around, following the wrong people.
Jordan, ready to give up on the sport, but it wasn't ready to give up on Jordan.
Until I did the work, I was expecting like great results with not much work, and so until I actually did the work, then I was like, okay, this makes more sense now.
Now he's at UT.
Coming here, it's opened a whole new side of swimming that I didn't really know about. There's so many different techniques and styles and little tips and tricks, and the training is also like phenomenal. I think the coaches do a really good job.
And as for what's next?
The goal, like I said, just to be faster than last time.
In Knoxville, Brittany Tarwater, WVLT News.
We're going to start tonight with breaking news just into the WVLT newsroom.
Some breaking news from overnight as crews work to put out a fire in Granger County.
A warning tonight for drivers heading west on I-40. Traffic is backed up for miles.
We're following a developing story we brought you first right here on WVLT.
We are issuing a WVLT First Alert weather days. The storm system tracks into East Tennessee.
Car wreck? Here's a good reason to call Fox and Farmer.
We won't ask you to put up a dime. That's right, it costs you nothing to bring your case to us. And you win or it's free. Call Fox and Farmer. We do more because we're two for you.
Call 531-9400.
For 46 years straight, more of you have trusted Ford F-Series trucks to help save the day. Stretch the weekend, haul, or tow. Just about anything, anywhere. That's because they're built Ford tough. And it's why Ford F-Series are America's best-selling trucks 46 years straight. And for that, we thank you.
Get 2.9% financing for 60 months plus $1,000 low APR cash on a 2022 Ford F-150 only at your local Ford dealer.
Whoa, it's not much time.
I know. I couldn't believe it at first, but Eyeglass World really does make your glasses the same day.
They don't just ship them out like other stores?
No, they make them right there in their same-day lab.
The same day?
The same day.
Whoa.
Oh, let me just get that for you. So, you want to go get some waffles?
Get 2 pairs of glasses for $89 the same day at Eyeglass World, the world's best way to buy glasses.
Thank you for calling Precision Door. How may I help you?
People always ask, can we do it today?
We can have someone out today between 12 and 2.
We have everything we need on our trucks to fix your garage door that same day.
Precision Door Service, a name you can trust.
You're watching the Big Orange Tip-Off on your official station of the Vols. Sponsored by Salsaritas.
Welcome back into the Big Orange Tip-Off Show, where we are previewing number 2 Tennessee, number 25 Auburn. And we've really blinked, and half of the SEC season is already gone, Rick. 8 more games after today remaining in the regular season. Hard to believe.
Yeah, it really is. And here's what's coming up, folks. Coming up next Wednesday, February 8th, the Volunteers will be over in the Music City taking on Nashville. Zach Rickens will be there for your all-Vol team. Then back at home for a couple of games against Missouri. The real challenge, Alabama. Right now, the Crimson Tide is undefeated in conference play and ranked number 4 in the country. That matchup at TBA is coming up February 15th. Then it's back on the road against the Kentucky Wildcats. February 18th, we'll have another extravaganza for you, another hour-long Big Orange Tip-Off show. Then they take on Texas A&M on the road on February 21st. That should be an interesting game. Zach, of course, all of this leading towards the March 8th start of the SEC tournament.
Yeah, and I earlier in this show mentioned how important that is to get a top 4 seed. So here are the current SEC standings as they stand right now. Tennessee right behind Alabama with that 2 losses against Kentucky and Florida. Crimson Tide undefeated in SEC play. We'll see if Tennessee can change that here in a couple of weeks as the Crimson Tide comes in to Thompson-Boling. Auburn just behind Tennessee, 3rd spot, tied with Texas A&M. As we move ahead to the Lady Vols, who've been kind of a little bit. I don't know what you're going to get from the team game in and game out.
Yeah, but they did come back in a big way against Ole Miss the other night, beating the Lady Rebels 65-51. Neither team shot particularly well from the field, especially from beyond the arc, where UT took 10 more three-pointers. Tennessee did share the ball well and limited their turnovers. Regardless, it was certainly nice to get back into the win column.
Like I always say, you never take any wins for granted because they're hard to get. So I'm glad we're back on the winning side. We still got a lot to work on, but I'm happy with how we played.
Really proud of our players. I knew this wasn't going to be an easy game, and it was going to be a battle. We were going to have to work, and they had great focus and great confidence before the game, and they carried that over for the game.
And Zach, it doesn't get any easier for the Lady Vols as you go through what's left for them coming up.
Yeah, up next, hitting the road against Mississippi State on Monday. The Lady Vols, a team that already beat the Bulldogs here at home, but as we know, it's hard to win on the SEC on the road. Ladies are then back home Sunday to take on Vanderbilt, and then on the road again to play Arkansas next Thursday.
All right, folks, we're back to wrap things up after this quick timeout. Coming up after the break, your Salsaritas Hot Shot of the Week, and we're going to have our keys to a Vols win today over those Auburn Tigers. Don't go away.
Vol fans know they can count on the WVLT sports team for the very best UT basketball coverage.
That's right, Coach. As the official station of the Vols, we have access that helps us deliver the best reporting available anywhere.
Plus, we take it a step further with the Rick Barnes Show and the Big Orange Tip-Off each week.
With guests and analysis you won't find anywhere else.
For the best volunteer basketball coverage, WVLT is your official station of the Vols.
We all love being outside, but sometimes nature does not want to cooperate. That's where Bud's Gun Shop and Range comes in. Practice your shot in our indoor, temperature-controlled shooting range or work with one of our experts to choose the right firearm for your next outdoor experience. Bud's Gun Shop and Range. Find it here.
What we do is disrupting traditional real estate, but disrupting it in a positive way. Our home sellers are walking away with thousands more than if they sold the traditional way. And the process was easier, more convenient, and less intrusive. That has resulted in thousands of additional dollars in our home sellers' pockets. The goal is to change the way America sells homes for the better. That's what 72 Sold is all about.
You're my new extra reliable, super fast internet. Stream a movie. Order us a pizza. Wow, good internet.
Extra reliable internet is on sale for $9.99 a month. Plus, learn how to get a year of HBO Max included.
Wow. Back again, huh? You must love losing.
You're buying the next one.
You gotta win one first.
Okay.
Mix and match two favorites for $3.39, like a McDouble, a McChicken, or small fries. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
You're watching the Big Orange Tip-Off on your official station of the Vols. Sponsored by Salsaritas.
This week's Hardwood Hotshot is sponsored by Salsaritas Fresh Mexican Grill, where you can choose from mild to hot.
And our Salsaritas hotshot of the game, senior forward Olivier Kamwa. He posted a career-high 27 points on 12 of 15 shooting to lead all scorers in the win 1 week ago today against number 10 Texas, also pulling down a team-high, tying 8 rebounds. His 12 made field goals, also a career high. Olivier followed that up in a losing effort, an 11.9 rebound performance at Florida. Olivier Kamwa, our hotshot of the week. All right, so what about the keys to a win today over Auburn? We've got Paige Dower magically up here now from being down on the floor. Guys, the first one I think is tighten up that defense. Coach Barnes talking yesterday, even if the offense isn't working, you got to hustle back and play defense.
Yeah, it's like a tourniquet. You know, you're going to bleed, right? But it's going to slow down that bleeding. Where,
that's right.
You know, if you play some good, solid defense, which we did not see from them the last 6 so minutes of the game against Florida, you're going to be able to stop some of that bleeding, even if shots are not falling.
And Zach, we talked about it. Our key number 2 is stopping Broome, their second leading scorer, almost 14 points a game.
Yeah, he and Auburn's offense are very effective when plays are made for him. When he's able to rebound the ball on offense and put it back, or when he's able to get a cut and go to the basket, that really works for them. But when he is not able to do that kind of stuff, their offense really sputters.
And lastly, Paige, they've got to get that swag back, right?
They absolutely do. They were so drab against Florida, very slow on offense, and I think tonight you want the swag back. You want to win the turnover battle. Zakai Ziegler is 3rd in the SEC in steals per game, and I think if they win that, they've got a good chance to win against this hot and cold Auburn team.
Let's get them. I'm getting excited. You can hear the music down there. Everybody's getting ready now. They'll be letting the fans in here in a short while. Folks, thank you for joining us. The Rick Barnes Show is coming up next. For Paige Dower and Zach Rickens, I'm Rick Russo. Go get them, Vols, and we'll see you next week here on the Big Orange Tip-Off. Have a great day, everybody.